Hello everybody, Suzanne Connor from Dying Visions Hypnosis and Reclaim Your Practice in Your Life. This video may upset or piss off some of the folks who are watching it, and I don't really care because facts are facts. I have found in being a part of, shall we say, business coaches, business coaching groups. There are many people out there who feel that they are capable of helping other people heal when they themselves are triggered by everything that anyone may say that may hit a little sore spot from something that happened when they were a little itty-bitty kid. Things they never healed. Worse, they worry about triggering others based on taking a stand and what their philosophies of healing and their beliefs are. I find this terrifically immature, not to mention the fact that if you haven't healed your own crap, how in the hell are you going to help someone else heal theirs? It's impossible. And this is why so many of my clients over the last 2 decades who have come to see me after being in conventional mental health care, quote unquote, came to see me. And in many cases, they never told their practitioner, their therapist, why they left. I always tell them to make an appointment and explain to their therapist why they left. What was going on that didn't work for them. So maybe, perhaps, the therapist could learn something and stop doing those invasive behaviors, making those judgmental comments, pretending they know what their patients are thinking and feeling when there's no way in hell you can. As anyone who's been married realizes that, as well as you may know your spouse after decades of living with them, there's so many things you don't have a clue about. Not really. And sometimes those things, when you find out about them, don't do very well in keeping your relationship together. Not really. So, my message is this. Heal your own crap. We all have it. And it's going to consistently and constantly come up through our lives. But to the degree that we've healed the underlying issues that created our dysfunctionalities, it's easier and easier to let go of those challenges that come upon us as we do this thing called life. So that we are able to be present and emotionally and mentally available to truly help facilitate, because that's all we can do, our patients' and clients' healing processes. Please stop pretending that you can help others when you have to have others walk on eggshells while they're in your presence, because something they say or do may trigger you. If that's the way your life is, you're in no way capable of helping anyone. Not really, because you're always on edge regarding what may happen. And your patients and clients aren't there to protect you. You're there to help them create emotional boundaries that work better for them, to help them heal the crises, the negative events, the traumas that happened in their lives that brought them to the place where they employed you in the first place. Because this is the thing, folks. If your stuff isn't healed, you're going to be putting projections of your crap on your patients and clients all the time and not even recognize the fact. And one of my favorites, in the sense that it's so common out there, there's actually 2 of them. The first one is when some patient shows up stating all the horrible things that their spouse did to create all the problems they're having in their lives, i.e. they're blaming their spouse for their problems. Unless you meet with a spouse individually and get their side of the story, until you do that, you don't know what's causing the issues in that marriage. And I'm going to point out to you that not that long ago, I had a woman hire me because she was an alcoholic. She was a blackout alcoholic. And she blamed her husband and her kids for all her problems, mainly her husband. But what was happening in that relationship was that she was coming in drunk from work every day, hostile to everyone in that household, emasculating her husband with her commentaries toward him in her drunken state. Now, I'm not saying he was perfect. He had his own issues. But it wasn't his fault that she was walking in the house in that state, was it? So we need to wake up and get the input from all that are concerned before we have any idea of the true situation. The second issue that comes up often is therapists who are molested, sexually abused. Unfortunately, this happens, they say, 25% of all females will experience this at some point in their life. I would put the number a hell of a lot higher than that because those are only the ones that are reported. And that means that there's a lot of therapists out there who are basically sitting there in a codependent relationship with their patient instead of working on this thing called forgiveness, because people abuse who are abused. It doesn't mean we forget, because if we forget, we allow it to happen again. It means we forgive them because of the abuse they suffered and haven't yet been able to figure out how to heal it. That's how you help somebody heal from these issues, all too common in societies everywhere. The reasons my clients heal is because I don't infantilize them. I do the healing processes that I know. I hold them accountable when they're talking double talk. And I have them do their forgiveness work, their inner child healing, and their appreciations for all those people they forgot were there for them along the way, because everybody has at least one. It's our job to help them find that one and bring out the inner love and consideration that they have for that person or those people, as well as loving the positive attributes of their parents because they are indeed a product of their parents. So healing internally what went on in the dysfunctionality of those relationships and doing the forgiveness work is most important in your patient's healing process. Anger creates autoimmune issues, heart attacks, and cancer. So we don't want them having anger and resentment and frustrations in their life. We don't want them thinking that their parents are capable of demonstrating love in the way that they want if their parents are incapable of doing so. And having them understand this reality and how to work with it in a way that works for them. All of them, based on reality, not fantasy. But one can only bring these ideas and concepts to a patient if you cleared up your own crap from your own life first. Because if you're still a victim to anyone in your life, you're not going to be able to help someone overcome these problems in their life. It needs to be done first. That's the reality. And it needs to continuously be done all through your life, because there are always going to be people who are going to take advantage. There are always people who are going to get the better part of us at some point in some situation when we're not at our top ability to take care of ourselves. There are those times. So we best recognize them and do what we need to do. And if that means calling on our colleagues to help us clear that crap, by all means, call on your colleagues. God knows I do it when I need to. And thankfully, my colleagues call on me as well. Because that's what needs to happen. For us to be of true service to those who trust us enough to employ us to help them overcome their challenges and heal as completely as they're able, which is not up to us to decide for them. It is up to them to apply themselves to make that happen for themselves. Letting go of the shame, blame, and guilt that so many children of alcoholics put on other people, as well as the blame game in general for those who might have hurt them in this process we call life. I don't know anyone over the age of 18 who hasn't had something occur with somebody that needed some healing. It's called growing up. I sincerely hope you receive this message in the manner in which it was meant to be received. And if not, go deeply inside yourself and be real. Because until we're real with ourselves, we can't expect our patients and clients to be real with us. It ain't going to happen, and I saw that over and over again when I was working with severely mentally ill people. People with schizophrenia, people with drug addictions and depression with suicidality, people who had major paranoia to the point where they couldn't function out there in the world, people with many of these issues overlapping one another, maybe even with health problems on top of them all. And even then, many of them were able to overcome these problems and have really rich quality of lives. Fulfilled and contented. Maybe not perfect, but I don't know a person who has a perfect life. I just know people who are able to clear their shit enough to be able to have happy, contented lives. Because they are unwilling to live otherwise, doing whatever it takes to make that happen. And that is what this video is about. It's an invitation for yourself to do the same for yourself before you get yourself in other people's heads where you don't belong until you clear out your own. And consistently do it along this journey we call life. As always, I thank you for watching the video. And I sincerely hope you got some very real value that too many people out there are unwilling to share, unfortunately, so far as I'm concerned. Till next time.